How many Leafs fans does it take to change a light bulb? We open the service with Isaiah. The people who walked in darkness have seen a great light. Those who lived in a land of deep darkness, on them light has shined. And this evening we celebrate that light as Christ in the Christ child. And so tonight we will use that classic light bulb joke to shine some light on the meaning of the scripture passage. How many Leaf fans does it take to change a light bulb? They don't. They just talk about how good the last one in '67 was. Now, light bulb jokes have a deserved reputation for amplifying stereotypes and sometimes serving as a vehicle for racist and misogynist comments, but not always. The light bulb joke is also used for poking fun at people in power. Examples are how many lawyers or how many politicians or how many pastors does it take to change a light bulb? In all of these cases, whether it's a person in power or it's someone that we're trying to punch down on, the other becomes the butt of the joke. However, tonight we'll stick with the Leafs version of the joke because, after all, I am a Leafs fan, so I'm only poking fun at myself. The Leafs light bulb joke works because it criticizes the Leafs franchise more than its fans. Because as we all know as Leaf fans, the problem with the Leafs is that they make enough money to never be hungry for a Stanley Cup. The joke pokes fun at the people in power, the rich players and the rich management. May their souls rest in peace. But let's move beyond the joke's surface level. The essence of the light bulb joke is that it's a cost-benefit analysis, where you compare how much does some proposed project cost and what are you going to gain from it, and you balance those two things out to decide whether it's worth doing that project. So in the Leafs joke, or in all jokes that are the light bulb joke, it's funny because we giggle at the inefficiency of changing the bulb. Maybe in the same way we giggled at the inefficiency of collecting the offering this evening. We're laughing at the disproportionate cost to the benefit of getting some light out of a bulb. Here's another example. This doesn't happen here. No complaints afterwards. It's just a joke. How many church members does it take to change a light bulb? The answer is 13. One to change it, but a committee of 6 to approve the change, and another 6 to complain about the change. The joke raises the question, is it really worth the effort to even get the light? So let's consider Christmas through this lens of cost and benefit. Christmas definitely fails the traditional cost-benefit analysis. Look at those angels. You put out a heavenly choir, all the costs associated with bringing a choir together, dazzling light show, that costs a few bucks, and they are adorned in the most spectacular of costumes. That's a lot of money, heavy cost. And those shepherds, the ones who are receiving the message, They are the least influential people on the planet, and they're the ones who are the target for receiving this costly news. Is it worth it? You got the Magi. They are influential people, but it's a pretty expensive journey that they're on. Some pretty expensive gifts according to tradition. And what's the ROI? It's return on investment, in case you don't know. They tell no one, and they just return home. And then, of course, you've got a baby, vulnerable, powerless. The risk involved in that part of the project, Christmas definitely fails the calculations of cost versus benefits. Except for this, that Christmas introduces a new cost-benefit equation where love and sacrifice upset the equation. So enough with the light bulb jokes and cost-benefit analysis. Let's shift our focus to a different kind of light. The kind of light that we're talking about when we talk about the Christmas story. The light in someone's eyes when they are in love. Have you ever noticed that people's eyes light up when they're in love? Have you ever noticed that? Or can some of you remember when you last noticed that? It's not a Superman light beam kind of lighting up. It's just this very subtle dilation of the pupils, actually. Imagine, though, romantically, a couple on their wedding day exchanging their vows, and as they look longingly into one another's eyes, you can see that twinkle of love. It's a moment of profound connection where everything else in the world seems to fade away, and all that matters is the love they share, the person before them. Well, I mean, here's the science behind it. What's actually happening in the eyes, in love and attraction, when your body is under duress, under stress, your pupils dilate to improve your direct line of sight and your peripheral vision so that you can better see what it is that's either threatening or exciting you and evaluate it for its potential cost or harm. And then, of course, there's a surge in hormones, dopamine, the love hormones. And they make your pupils dilate. And research shows that a person's attractiveness is boosted when they make eye contact and direct their interest your way. This is where I got to be careful not to stare at anybody for a while, lest they think I am flirting with them. It's my wife. Which brings us to the Christ child. In Jesus, God with us. God makes eye contact with humanity. And we fall in love, or at least we're invited to fall in love. We light up despite the darkness around us, just like those who are in love. The Christmas story becomes a love story where God's eyes meet our eyes and a profound connection takes place. It's a love that surpasses earthly understanding, a love that changes our hearts and illuminates our lives, even if it doesn't seem like the benefits outweigh the costs. Every light bulb joke is about change, and eventually everything changes. Does the way that we live, the way that you live in this world bring light to the darkness? Do the poor and the hungry and the lost see us trying to change the world's light bulb and end up thinking, well, that's just a joke? Do we live in a world in such a way that our attempts to shine God's light, God's good news into the world, leave those that God is targeting that light for just shaking their head, just thinking it's not even funny? When the poor and the hungry and the lost look at us, do they see a people who walked in darkness and have seen a great light? Do they see a people who lived in a land of deep darkness and on them light has shined? As we celebrate Christmas, let's remember that the cost-benefit analysis of God's love defies our earthly calculations. Christmas challenges us to reconsider what and how we value. In the Christ child, God assigns new value to the undervalued, introducing elements like sacrifice and love to the equation that we cannot quantify. So as we gaze upon the manger, may we be filled, not just this evening, but not just this season, but this year. May we be filled with a light and a love that surpasses any calculation, a light and a love that changes everything. In Jesus, God makes eye contact with each of us, and that changes everything. Merry Christmas, everyone.